Are you frustrated with trying to figure out how to make a bar chord on an acoustic guitar? Well, I'm going to show you in 7 easy steps how to be able to make a bar chord properly. The first step that we're going to do is we're going to take our index finger and we're going to lay it across the frets, but we're not going to start at this first fret. We're actually going to start on the 5th fret. And this 5th fret is notated for those who are learning that each individual fret has a marker on it. So we're going to count frets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to put our finger on the 5th fret, the entire index finger. It's going to cover all 6 strings. The reason why I'm starting at the 5th fret and not at this 1st fret is because this guitar has higher action, and more than likely your guitar probably doesn't have great action. This guitar has really low action. And I wanted to use this guitar specifically because the action is a little bit higher and it might be more representative of the guitar that you're actually using. So there's some techniques, regardless of how good the string height is or how low it is or how high it is, you can use these 7 steps in order to be able to overcome that. So don't blame the guitar. My first guitar was really bad. It was almost a centimeter's separation between the string and the fret. It was pretty awful. So your first step is to take your index finger and we're going to go to the 5th fret and we're going to lay it across all 6 fingers. Now you can, all 6 strings. Now you can feel that kind of the meat of your finger touching all the strings. And you want to move your index finger a little bit closer to this fret bar here. You don't want to stay too far away. You want to get pretty close. As you drag your finger across, you can kind of put some tension down. This moves into the 2nd step, your thumb. So what we're going to do is you put your index finger down and there's a lot of meat here on the index finger. So there's less meat on this side. So you can actually get a better compression or better surface area by rotating your index finger this way, so kind of counterclockwise. When you do that, put your thumb behind your index finger and squeeze, kind of like that. And when you squeeze like this, then you get good tension on all the strings. Now, when the third step is to take your elbow and move it in towards your body. The reason why we're starting here, another reason why we're starting at this 5th fret, is because we want that elbow to be closer to our body. Once we put that elbow closer to our body, the amount of tension that's in our fingers begins to loosen and we get more control. So when that elbow is in, then we're able to lay the index finger across the fret, the thumb gets into position, and now we've got, if we pinch, now we've got coverage on all of those individual strings. Now this is a chord, not a very pretty chord, but it is a chord. And what we're going to do now is follow through with the rest of the steps. So our middle finger will then be placed on this 6th fret, but it'll be on the 3rd string right there. So then we'll add in the ring finger to the 7th fret on the 5th string. Then we'll add in our pinky to the 7th fret on the 4th string and strum. Now, there's lots of things that are happening with this chord. There's a lot of things that could go wrong, which leads us to our 7th step, but we're not going to get to that 7th step, which is kind of pulling our elbow back. Right now, your hand is under a tremendous amount of tension. So go ahead and let it out, shake it out. If you're ever feeling in pain or something like that, or you get any discomfort in your wrist, just let go, just stop, pause, kind of shake out your hand, and then try it again. So we'll go through it again, and I'll do it a little bit faster, but I want to share a tip when you put your thumb behind the neck of the guitar. If you could see here that my thumb is right behind the 5th fret marker, but when I put my index finger down, my thumb needs to move this way. So my wrist was actually going to be pointing towards my chin or towards my shoulder. So you might have assumed that this is just a straight up and down chord, but it's really not, because when I have my thumb positioned here, my hands kind of twist this way. And that's how I can get all that tension. Something really interesting, a friend of mine who was in his his residency at a hospital. He was doing some hand surgery, and he was telling me that your grip strength is in your pinky and in your thumb. So if you were to grab something without your pinky, you wouldn't have full strength or full ability to really kind of tighten down with your hand. But once that pinky's involved, then you have real strength that's involved. So when you make the bar chord, so index finger, roll it, thumb behind the index finger, position your middle finger, ring finger. When that pinky comes down, that thumb can actually slide to this position on the fret. It kind of goes like that. And that allows you then to be able to make that chord cleanly. The 7th step is your right hand. Now, lefties, if you're lefty, it'll just be the opposite. Everything I'm telling you is totally transferable for my lefties. If you put the pit of your hand or pit of your arm right against the body of the guitar and pull back. So you've got your elbow towards your side, towards the side of your body, and you've got this pit of your arm pulling against the guitar. It gives you a lot of control that you wouldn't necessarily have if you just had the guitar loose in front of you. Playing the acoustic guitar, especially for beginners, it's really difficult in order to be able to do it. It's going to take time. So don't be totally upset with yourself that you can't make this chord cleanly on the first try. This A major chord is a great way to start. So what I want to encourage you to do is try to make this chord, just this one chord, try to make it cleanly, meaning playing every note, arpeggiating each note, which means just play each individual note. Once you can do that 3 times in a row in one sitting, then break, do it again the next day, and do it for a week until you can make sure that you're fully competent in this. A lot of guys and gals, what they'll do is they'll try to start moving around the fretboard too quickly, and then they start losing the real skill and the technique in order to be able to make that bar chord cleanly. Moving it around will come much faster once you get one. If you get one, you can get 12. And that's going to be in another video. You'll see the link in that video. If this video is helpful to you, go ahead and click subscribe and follow to figure out how to make one chord, this A major chord, into 12 different chords. We'll see you in the next one.